college basketball. Remember when the SEC was not even anybody ever heard of them having basketball teams? I mean, I'm not kidding. Going back to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, how often would we see Alabama as part of that whole thing, right? Auburn as part of that whole thing. It just didn't happen. Well, it is now. And right now, John, as we sit, 8 of the top 25 teams in America are coming from the SEC. From Auburn all the way down to Mississippi State. Auburn is number 1, Mississippi State's number 25. I mean, it's absolutely amazing because the SEC has always been thought of as the football school. They're the football world. They're also the basketball world. I'd even throw in there, they're pretty damn good in baseball as well. So the SEC really is right now, I think, the best conference in all of sports in the college level. Absolutely incredible what they've been able to do, John. You've got Florida, you got Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. And then, of course, you've got Vanderbilt. Believe it or not, they got 20 wins already. They're 20-9. So they're going to probably, well, they'll be in the dance, but those guys might be able to jump up even a little bit further, John, potentially, especially as things play out. But I don't know. Did you ever realize how much that they've done this? Because I'll tell you, I think this helps a lot. How about the SEC network and all the rest of the money that's out there in the world? I mean, this all plays into it, right? I mean, that they're that good. It used to be the Big Ten. Sometimes, you'd Pac-12, you had your Cal, you had your Stanford, a UCLA basketball for sure, some of that. But it's amazing what the SEC has been able to do in all the sports. It's unreal, right?
Yeah. And like you said, Pete, it used to be if you talked about SEC, it was only Kentucky and only Florida. Mm-hmm. Because I think Florida was in the big dance, Pete, and getting into the finals twice. Yeah. In the past decade or last 15 years. Mm-hmm. And Kentucky, well, yeah, they were always good. Yeah. But Bama, Georgia, Missouri, yeah, they played tough, but, they never really got very far. Mm-hmm. And now, as you say, for them to have this many teams, 8 teams in the top 20 or 25, pretty extraordinary. So, yeah, I will give kudos to them. I think that's very impressive.
So one other basketball, and we're going to actually go back to the ACC now, John. The number 2 team in the country is Duke, and they're 27-3. They had 3 losses, 2 not embarrassing losses at all either, because that's just not what they do. They're 17-0 at home. But going and pulling back a little bit further, how about this kid, Cooper Flagg? I don't know if you've had a chance to watch him. I've seen him a little bit here and there, John, and I definitely have seen him on the highlights of ESPN because the kid is the highlight reel of this year for college basketball. He's unbelievable. He's only 6'9", a couple 100 pounds, 200 pounds. He is a highlight film every time you see this guy. So here's what he's got for this year. When I was looking at their statistics, I just wanted to see he's so good at so much, but I didn't realize this. He's number 1 on the team in points, 19.6, rebounds, 7.5, assists, steals, and blocks. He leads their team, Duke. This isn't just some team, it's Duke. And he leads in every single one of those categories, John. And everybody yesterday, after they had their last game at home, started screaming, one more year, because the thing I left out is he's a freshman. And this guy is going to the NBA. I could see that maybe he'd make some decision to say, you know what, if I get this insurance policy or I can do that, maybe I'd stay one more year. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to the NBA. I think he'll be the very first pick, John, and it should be a lot of fun. I mean, there are a couple other guys that are pretty damn good out there. They're not freshmen, but some other guys. There's a kid up at Rutgers who's damn good. This kid is unbelievable, and he is packing that gym just like everybody always has at Duke, but he is something to watch, and he's pretty amazing. I hope that you've had a chance. If you haven't had a chance to watch him, we got to watch this guy during the tournament because Duke will be in there for a while, and you're going to see a lot of games where this kid is sitting out there shooting threes that are just ridiculous.
Well, at his size, Pete, mm-hmm. And maturity, because again, playing in the ACC at a school, with this kind of tradition like Duke has, mm-hmm. There's a lot of pressure. But this kid has shown through the talent that he's got. So yes, I have not seen a complete game, Pete, but I've seen so many reels, so many TikToks
Yeah.
of this guy just filling up the basket that I think you're right. He's likely to be a number 1 pick overall. And if you got that, I don't know that you stay in school when you got that. I think that's pretty tough to pass up. So I'll bet you, Pete, we see this guy playing in an NBA jersey next year, not a Duke.
He'll stand out, I think, even in the NBA, even as a rookie, because he's got that swagger. And when you've got the swagger and you've got all the ability and the size that he's got already, is he a little thin? Maybe, but not that bad. I think this kid is a superstar, and he's going to be a lot of fun at the NBA level. He will make one of those teams a lot better as soon as he gets drafted in that first pick.